Bali is an island of 1,000 temples and blessed by beautiful nature and culture. Bali always has a way to stand strong on its own with compassion and tolerance, without forgetting the character and culture of their people. The local wisdom is resembled in the vision of Udayana University as the oldest university in the island of the gods. Udayana University was established on September 29, 1958, and firstly initiated from the Faculty of Literature, which was originally a branch of SIARAN University. This faculty was inaugurated by SIARAN and officially established as Udayana University on August 17, 1962. Since its establishment, Udayana University has been committed to produce graduates in accordance with the vision of the university: excellence, self-reliance, and culture. Excellence means competitive, innovative, and able to compete in specific fields in local, national, and international levels. Self-reliance means having the ability of leadership and entrepreneurship to manage resources in producing innovations that benefit the development of science and community services. Cultured means maintaining the academic life in the university based on the noble values of the state philosophy, Panchasila, and local wisdom by promoting honesty and harmony between thoughts, words, and good deeds. Trikaya Parisuda.
Oh ya, terima kasih sebelumnya. Jadi kesan-pesan saya selama kuliah di Universitas Udayana ini tentu sangat banyak ya. Kesannya tuh menyenangkan kuliah di sini secara Universitas Udayana. Siapa sih yang nggak tahu Universitas Udayana ini? Jadi buat diri sendiri otomatis bangga, apalagi sama keluarga pasti bangga kan. Jadi kesannya tentu menyenangkan, banyak pengalaman yang didapat setelah berkuliah selama 4 tahun ini tentunya. Terus pesannya mungkin buat teman-teman atau adik-adik yang baru mau melanjutkan, mari bergabung bersama Universitas Udayana karena di sini banyak pengalaman, banyak ilmu, banyak hal yang bisa kalian dapatkan, nggak kalah dengan universitas-universitas yang lainnya gitu.
Udayana University has 13 faculties and postgraduate programs consisting of various cross-scientific disciplines. These faculties are built and developed according to the needs of the community. The university has 1,644 lecturers. These qualified lecturers are supported by comprehensive facilities to meet the needs of 29,985 active students. The competence of Udayana University has been proven by the accreditation from the National University Accreditation Board. On an international level, Udayana University received 3 stars from the QS Star rating. Udayana University brings an active learning system involving the lecturer and students. In addition, Udayana University has e-learning systems which open a direct discussion room between lecturers and students to increase effectiveness of the learning process. Udayana University also provides facilities for student activities to develop soft skills and hard skills in non-academic fields. Udayana University continues to improve its quality and strengthen itself as one of the universities in the central region of Indonesia, which has the largest number of foreign students. Recently, the number of foreign students attending regular education program at Udayana University are 226 students that spread across various faculties. 1,200 to 1,500 foreign students from various backgrounds and continents such as Asia, Australia, and Europe participates in various short course programs, exchange programs, as well as internship programs at Udayana University every year.
for giving this opportunity to come here, explore Indonesia, your efforts for conserving the environment, interacting with the local people, and the official dates for assisting us throughout this program. They were really amazing, all of them. I really thank.
Kita semua masih menunggu waktu untuk memulai acara ini, dan sembari menunggu saya akan membacakan peraturan webinar pada hari ini. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to read the rules of the webinar to be followed by all the participants. Yang pertama, peserta dapat join dalam link Webex 30 menit lebih awal. Yang kedua, peserta diharapkan mengalihkan nada dering ponsel untuk kenyamanan penyelenggaraan kegiatan. Yang ketiga, peserta diharapkan memastikan mic dalam keadaan mute. Yang keempat, peserta dapat mengajukan pertanyaan dalam kolom chat menggunakan fitur raise hand atau open mic untuk bertanya langsung pada narasumber. Yang kelima, peserta diharapkan menggunakan virtual background untuk sesi foto bersama pada acara pembukaan. Yang keenam, sertifikat kegiatan akan dikirimkan melalui email yang digunakan untuk melakukan pendaftaran. Ladies and gentlemen, here are the rules of the webinar today. Participants can join the Webex link 30 minutes earlier. Participants are expected to turn off their ringtones for the convenience of this meeting. Participants are expected to make sure that the mic is muted. Participants can ask questions in the chat column, use the raise hand or open mic feature to ask questions directly to the source speaker. Participants are expected to use a virtual background for a group photo session at the opening ceremony. Certificates of activity will be sent via email, which is used for registration. Hadirin, terima kasih atas perhatiannya. Sekarang kita akan menunggu waktu untuk dimulainya seminar kali ini.
Even the Indonesian, yes, they have these kind of programs letting the world come in. So thanks to all of them.
Udayana University are both domestic and international collaborations with various institutions. Domestic collaborations developed by Udayana University together with the central government, regional governments, state and private universities, and private sectors amounted to 336 cooperations until 2019. Udayana University also has 236 international collaborations with various institutions and universities abroad in Asia, America, and Europe until 2019. These collaborations have expanded the connections and established Udayana University as reputable institution by various domestic and foreign partners. In accordance with the Tree Dharma of higher education, Udayana University also practices community service activities. The community services target various layers of society with this principle. The benefits from what is learned shall be returned to the community, especially in developing the community welfare. Udayana University is the agent of change, and we shall continue to grow and serve the communities with our knowledge and integrity. Taki takini sewaka guna widya. People who oblige knowledge shall pursue wisdom and virtue. Change your life. Start here at Udayana University.
Acara akan segera kita mulai. Ladies and gentlemen, we're about to start the event. Please remain attention. Om Swastiastu. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Shalom, Namo Buddhaya, salam sejahtera bagi kita semua. Selamat pagi dan selamat datang kami ucapkan kepada yang terhormat Rektor Universitas Udayana, yang pada kesempatan kali ini diwakili oleh Dekan Fakultas Ilmu Budaya Universitas Udayana. Yang kami hormati para dekan di lingkungan Universitas Udayana. Yang kami hormati para kepala UPT Bahasa yang berkesempatan hadir, UPT Bahasa Universitas Mula Warman, UPT Bahasa P3B Universitas Banjarmasin, UPT Universitas Kairun, Pusat Lab Bahasa Isi Denpasar, UPT Universitas Kuningan Jawa Barat. Yang kami hormati pula Direktur BPU, Koordinator KUI, Ketua JUPI, para narasumber, beserta moderator, Bapak Ibu dosen dari Universitas Isi Denpasar, UNHI, Ormadewa, dan universitas lainnya, Bapak Ibu Guru SMA Negeri 4 Denpasar, para mahasiswa S1, S2, S3, dan Bapak Ibu undangan lainnya. Hadirin terlebih dahulu izinkan saya untuk memperkenalkan diri. Saya Pandura Digama, yang pada kesempatan kali ini bertugas sebagai pembawa acara. Dan atas nama panitia, sekali lagi kami ucapkan selamat datang kepada para hadirin di ruang virtual UPT Bahasa pagi ini, 23 Maret 2021, dalam kegiatan Udayana Language Center Forum, atau ULC Forum, dengan tema Reading Skill. Ladies and gentlemen, please allow me to introduce myself. I'm Pandura Harjama, your host for today. On behalf of the organizing committee, I am very pleased to welcome all of you to Udayana Language Center Forum with the theme of Reading Skill on March 23, 2021. Hadirin, dalam acara ini kita memiliki para narasumber dan moderator yang luar biasa yang akan membagikan ilmu dan materi dan tentunya akan sangat bermanfaat bagi kita semua. Ladies and gentlemen, in this fortunate event we are going to have two amazing speakers that will share their priceless knowledge and an also amazing moderator to guide our discussion for today. Hadirin, untuk mempersingkat waktu, mari kita beranjak ke agenda selanjutnya, yaitu laporan dari Ketua Panitia. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now have the Chief of Organizing Committee to deliver the report of this event. And without further ado, for Ms. Isnu, time is yours.
Baik, terima kasih banyak atas kesempatan yang diberikan oleh pembawa acara. Bapak Ibu, izin untuk kami menyampaikan laporan panitia. Om Swastiastu. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Namo Buddhaya, salam sejahtera buat kita semua. Yang terhormat Rektor Universitas Udayana, dalam kesempatan ini diwakili oleh Ibu Dekan Fakultas Ilmu Budaya. Yang kami hormati pula para Kepala UPT seluruh Indonesia yang berkesempatan hadir. Yang kami hormati para dekan di lingkungan Universitas Udayana yang berkesempatan hadir. Yang kami hormati pula Direktur BPU, Ketua Koordinator International Office, Ketua Unit JUPI, para pembicara Prof. Ai Chun Yen from National Donghua University, good morning Prof. Prof. Inengah Sudipto MA, selamat pagi. Ibu Moderator, Ibu Dr. Aryani. Yang kami hormati pula para dosen dari Unmas, dari Warmadewa, Isi Denpasar, dan universitas lainnya. Yang kami hormati juga para guru dari SMA 4 Denpasar, para pegawai, mahasiswa S1, S2, dan S3, dan seluruh peserta lainnya yang tidak bisa kami sebutkan satu persatu. Selamat pagi dan selamat datang kami ucapkan di ULC Forum ruang virtual UPT Bahasa pagi ini dalam kegiatan Udayana Language Center Forum. Atas asung Kertawarenugraha Tuhan Yang Maha Esa, Ida Sang Yang Widiwasa, kita dapat berkumpul dalam keadaan sehat guna mengikuti acara pembukaan yang nanti dilanjutkan dengan pemaparan materi dari narasumber. Bapak Ibu sekalian, UPT Bahasa hari ini melaksanakan webinar yang kelima dan yang pertama di tahun 2021. Setelah sebelumnya kami melakukan kegiatan pelatihan bahasa Inggris untuk mahasiswa di bulan Januari, kemudian dilanjutkan untuk para dosen, dan hari ini adalah kegiatan webinar yang akan kami selenggarakan dengan tema Reading Skill. Tema yang kami hadirkan, Bapak Ibu sekalian, merupakan mengenai keterampilan bahasa Inggris, salah satunya yang akan dipaparkan oleh dua narasumber yang ditinjau dari perspektif budaya dan satu lagi dari perspektif linguistik. Tinjauan dari perspektif budaya akan disampaikan oleh Prof. Chun Yen dari NDHU, dan beliau juga merupakan Direktur Pusat Bahasa dari NDHU Taiwan. Dan untuk paparan linguistik itu akan disampaikan oleh Prof. Sudipe, yang merupakan Guru Besar Fakultas Ilmu Budaya dari Program Studi Sastra Inggris, dan juga merupakan Ketua Senat dari FIB Udayana, dan acara kami akan dipandu oleh moderator Ibu Dr. IGA Aryani M. Home yang merupakan rekan kami dari Prodi Sastra Inggris. Bapak Ibu sekalian, yang dapat kami laporkan adalah kegiatan webinar ini diikuti oleh 187 yang tercatat mendaftar, dan kami harapkan barangkali akan hadir sesaat lagi di ruang virtual ini. Kegiatan kami juga disiarkan secara langsung melalui Udayana TV, akun YouTube Udayana TV, dan kami harap kegiatan ini nantinya dapat memberikan pengetahuan bagi Bapak Ibu, utamanya juga mahasiswa, untuk bisa berpartisipasi aktif dalam acara atau sesi diskusi nanti. Sekiranya demikian yang bisa kami laporkan, Bapak Ibu sekalian. Tentunya kami mengucapkan terima kasih banyak atas partisipasi Bapak Ibu sekalian yang senantiasa mendukung UPT Bahasa Udayana melalui kegiatan ULC forumnya. Dan laporan ini akan kami tutup dengan para mesanti. Kami ucapkan selamat mengikuti webinar nantinya. Om Santi 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 Om.
Terima kasih Ibu Isnu. Selanjutnya kami mengundang Ibu Dekan Fakultas Ilmu Budaya untuk memberikan sambutan dari Ibu Rektor Universitas Udayana yang pada kesempatan kali ini berhalangan hadir. Untuk itu kepada Ibu Dr. Made Sri Satyawati SSMH, mohon berkenan untuk menyampaikan sambutan.
Terima kasih Pandu atas kesempatannya. Selamat pagi Bu Isnu. Terima kasih untuk semuanya. Mohon izin mewakili Ibu Rektor untuk membuka acara seminar di UPT Lab Bahasa. Hai, Om Swastiastu. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Shalom, Namo Buddhaya, salam sejahtera untuk kita semua. Yang saya hormati para dekan di lingkungan Universitas Udayana, Ketua UPT seluruh Indonesia yang hadir pada UPT Bahasa seluruh Indonesia yang hadir pada pagi hari ini, tentunya Ibu Isnu juga sebagai kepala UPT Lab Bahasa Universitas Udayana, Koordinator KUI, Ketua JUPI, Direktur BPU yang juga hadir, para narasumber, Bapak Prof. Inengah Sudipe, MA, sebagai senior saya di Fakultas Ilmu Budaya, yang sekaligus sebagai Ketua Senat Fakultas Ilmu Budaya Universitas Udayana, Ibu Prof. Chun Yen, mohon maaf kalau salah menyebutkan, Direktur of NDHU Language Center, Taiwan. Thank you for being willing to be a speaker or presenter in online language center seminar. Pertama-tama, marilah kita memanjatkan puji syukur kehadapan Tuhan Yang Maha Esa, karena atas berkat rahmat-Nya kita dapat bertemu dan mengikuti seminar online yang diselenggarakan UPT Lab Bahasa Universitas Udayana pada tanggal 23 Maret 2021. Bapak dan Ibu yang berbahagia, acara seminar ini merupakan acara yang sangat baik bagi lembaga. Mohon maaf. Bapak Ibu yang berbahagia, acara seminar ini merupakan acara yang sangat baik bagi lembaga dan bagi kita sivitas akademika, terutama bagi peserta yang ingin meningkatkan keterampilan dalam bidang bahasa, khususnya dalam keterampilan reading skills. Mengapa demikian? Karena memiliki dampak pada peningkatan mutu SDM bagi lembaga dan bagi kita sebagai seorang akademisi yang dituntut untuk meningkatkan wawasan keilmuan. Tentunya dalam bidang reading skill merupakan salah satu kemampuan yang wajib kita miliki. Wawasan keilmuan ini yang akan mengantarkan kita sebagai pendidik atau peserta didik ataupun sebagai seorang guru yang nantinya mampu membagikan keilmuan yang senantiasa sesuai dengan kebutuhan zaman, baik dalam perkuliahan, penyusunan buku, penyampaian dalam seminar maupun publikasi ilmiah. Bapak Ibu yang berbahagia, pada pagi hari ini yang saya hormati pula, publikasi tentunya kita ketahui merupakan kunci yang sangat membutuhkan keahlian reading skill kita, sehingga banyak hal yang kita harus ketahui sehingga kita mampu berinovasi dan menghasilkan sebuah publikasi yang bermutu yang dapat menggapai jurnal bereputasi. Jadi dalam situasi sekarang tentunya tidak hanya dosen, mahasiswa juga memerlukan hal tersebut. Saya juga mengucapkan selamat karena telah banyak yang tertarik mengikuti ini. Ada 187 peserta, dan juga mengucapkan selamat karena sudah mendapat kesempatan untuk menimba dan melatih keterampilan. Tentunya kegiatan yang baik ini diharapkan senantiasa dilaksanakan dan ditingkatkan baik dari proses penyelenggaraan sampai pada narasumber yang kita perlukan. Semoga Bapak dan Ibu yang mengikuti acara ini mendapatkan manfaat. Akhir kata, atas nama Rektor Universitas Udayana mengucapkan terima kasih kepada UPT Lab Bahasa yang sudah menginisiasi acara ini, dan tentunya kepada seluruh pegawai yang sudah mendukung dan narasumber yang siap memberikan ilmunya. Akhir kata, saya mohon maaf jika ada hal-hal yang tidak berkenan di hati Bapak dan Ibu. Om Santi 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 Om. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Namo Buddhaya, Shalom, salam sejahtera untuk kita semua. Baik Bapak Ibu, atas nama Rektor Universitas Udayana, acara seminar online UPT Lab Bahasa Universitas Udayana tanggal 23 Maret 2021 saya buka dengan resmi. Terima kasih dan selamat pagi.
Baik, terima kasih kami ucapkan kepada Ibu Dekan Fakultas Ilmu Budaya Universitas Udayana. Selamat pagi juga kami ucapkan kepada penonton yang menonton melalui siaran YouTube. Selamat datang ke webinar UPT Bahasa Universitas Udayana. Hadirin, selanjutnya kita akan mengadakan sesi foto bersama. Untuk itu kepada para undangan yang terhormat serta para hadirin, kami mohon untuk menyalakan videonya. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now have a photo session. So please turn on your camera and the committee will now take a screenshot. Sekali lagi kami mohon kepada para hadirin untuk memunculkan video kameranya agar kami dapat melakukan sesi foto bersama. Baik hadirin, saya akan hitung. 3, 2, 1. Sekali lagi, 3, 2, 1. Baik, terima kasih hadirin. Demikianlah acara pembukaan webinar yang telah dibuka secara resmi. Tanpa mengurangi rasa hormat kepada para tamu undangan yang memiliki kesibukan lain, kami perkenankan untuk meninggalkan ruangan virtual ini. Distinguished VIPs, thank you very much for the attendance, and if there is further agenda to be attended, please feel free to leave the meeting. Thank you.
Terima kasih Bu Isnu. Ya,
Terima kasih
terima
banyak,
kasih.
Ibu Dekan.
Mohon maaf tadi ada yang ganggu teleponnya.
Kenapa Ibu?
Ya.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we will now proceed to our main agenda, which will be guided by our moderator, Ibu Dr. Aryani. But before that, please allow me to read her CV first. She was born in Denpasar on 6 December 1974 and currently working as our respectable lecturer in English Department of Udayana University. Ms. Aryani finished her education in Udayana University from undergraduate degree until the doctorate degree in 2020. She has also produced many international and international journals throughout her career, and many other achievements and experiences that I can mention one by one. And without further ado, please welcome
Thank you, Pandu. Good morning to all of the participants who could participate with the webinar today on 23rd March 2021. Good morning to the invited speakers, to the honorable invited speakers. We have two valuable invited speakers. First one is Professor Aichun Yan from National Donghua University, Taiwan. The second presenter is Professor Dr. Inengah Sudipa, MA, from the English Department, Faculty of Humanities, Udayana University. It's a great honor for me that has chosen to bear the sessions, and then for these occasions, the Udayana laboratoriums, especially the language center, collaborated with National Donghua University, is going to have a theme for the webinar for the reading skills. Let me tell you the CV from Professor Aichun Yan. So the first invited speakers is Professor Aichun Yan. She is from the Department of English, National Donghua University, Taiwan. Her research concerns theories of constructivist learning, environment, and technological applications. Her recent research interests are competent English, knowing bilingual education, strategic teaching and learning, and literature in language educations. Good morning, Prof. Aichun Yan. Nice to meet you. And the second invited speakers is Professor Dr. Inengah Sudipa, MA. He is one of our professors at the English Department, Udayana University. I could say that he is one of our most productive professors, and he produced a lot of books. Also, he also have an experiences to produce articles for the national and international journals. He is graduated from the English department, Udayana University, taken his master's degree in Monash University, Melbourne, Australia, and his doctoral degree at the linguistic program of Udayana University. So in these occasions, the first presenter, Professor Yan, will have the cultural perspectives, and the second presenter, Professor Dr. Inanga Sudipa, will present about the linguistics perspectives. So each presenter have around 25 minutes to present their work. So for the first presenter, I would like Professor Aichun Yan to present your work. So the time is yours, Prof. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yes, Prof.
Yes,
Could you hear?
Prof, we could
All right,
hear
good,
you.
good. All right, so I will start. It's happy to be with you while it's a lot of people around. I hope the internet connection will be fine. All right, so let's start. Today is about the reading power, and I would like to introduce a very, very hot topic in Taiwan. It's about interdisciplinary reading. And what is that? Okay, let's look at this first. You know, pizza. It's an international assessment for the students, especially for reading, mathematical and scientific literacy. And the reading is the very first one. Okay, what is mathematical literacy and what is about scientific literacy? It's about the interdisciplinary, or how you read, and how you read mathematics, and how do you read scientific works. All right, so these three are the main field for the student to reach the pizza score. All right, and let's get back to reading literacy, because this is reading discussion for the morning. There's a research from Taiwan about 24 samples from pizza. All right, about the genre, 5 pieces from literature, 6 from life and living, 8 from science, and 5 from social studies. So look, the reading is not only for reading comprehension, it's about interdisciplinary, cross-field, especially in science and living and life. That is for everyday life. So we need to read life, we need to read. All right, and how about the article forms? Informational tests about 7, and long tests in 2 sections about 17, which means we don't usually read for short paragraphs. For our life, we sometimes will read long tests, and that is how we examine our students about their reading literacy. All right, and then next about the account. Of course, let's get back to the article form. If we have ideas reading long texts, the word count is nothing difficult. All right, word below is about 5 only. And what are the most chosen word is 500 to 1,000? And if it's essays, 2,000 will be very rare. And the graph and the charts about 7 pieces. So what does that mean? So if we help the student to read between 500 and 1,000 words, and they can handle a lot of world reading. Okay, worldwide reading, right? And now let's have a look at this. Apart from literature, we read a lot cross-disciplinary readings. It's about popular science, social studies, arts, and humanity. And lucky we're all from humanity college, right? Mostly, well, maybe some are from science. But those are what we call the interdisciplinary field. Okay, and you will not say you are pure science person or art person, not at all, because we're human beings. We need to get to know a lot of different people. It's about our everyday lives. So letters, notes, notice, or announcement, even like the announcement for the conference today, it's about reading comprehension too. Well, even though I don't read Indonesia, I don't understand anything. I know some keywords. I know the gesture. That's kind of reading as well. Okay, and from the picture, from the chart you show on the screen, I roughly know what you mean. Okay, so that's why we need to know how to read informational tests. It's about the graphs, chart, checklist, maps, or pictures. And mainly I read pictures before this section starts. Okay, I read everybody's pictures and the graphs and even nice films from your university. So that's kind of reading as well. Okay, so literature is nothing we can say equals to reading. It's everything. So now we need to know, read across the disciplinary or cross the discipline is important because it's our daily life. Okay, and in Taiwan, most English teachers just like to read more. So that's why I say here, English plus 0.5. And this X means other field. English teachers plus 0.5 mathematics. English teachers plus 0.5 science. English teachers plus 0.5 arts. So that's cross-disciplinary. You don't need to be an expert. You just need to have 0.5, and that is enough. Why? Because your reading gonna have a lot of different varieties. Okay, and here is the trend from Taiwan. Like long time ago, maybe 15, 20 years ago, we just try to encourage students and teachers to do cross-curricular teaching. Okay, we start from afternoon class or the school clubs. Okay, and then later, of course, this is for teacher and that is for students. So if we teach cross-curricular, the student will learn interdisciplinary. Okay, the language, of course. Yeah, because we are English teachers, we need to use the language to teach them. All right, how do we know that they are learning? Because they can comprehend. So comprehend means reading. Reading doesn't mean written. It can be verbal. Okay, comprehension can be in any way. All right, later, we just have the concept on content-based teaching. So we move from school clubs or afternoon class into the curriculum. So we invite the teachers to do content-based teaching. And that's kind of different content from everyday life, from social science, from arts, for anything. So content-based teaching, we just produce project-based learning, project by project. And that's easy. Why? Because we know when to start and when to start and when to stop. We have a project and we can showcase. And we can see how students use their interdisciplinary knowledge to produce something. And now, here, from 5 years ago, we have the word STEAM. That is mainly scientific interdisciplinary. Okay, but that really kills us. We are humanity person. Okay, and we don't choose science as our majors. That's because we're kind of afraid of science. Okay, and that will bring us trouble. If we teach STEAM, science, so-called science, popular science, in class, we will kill the students in learning, the opportunities to learn. So we adopt CLEO. What is CLEO? CLEO is content and language integrated learning. So we don't need to be a very good science teacher to teach content. I mean, science content. We just need to do this English plus 0.5 science. So we feel better that way. So this is very hard. This is a trend for teaching reading in Taiwan. And we caught that is a way we need to choose the materials and the methods. Okay, when we teach cross-curriculum, we will have a lot of materials. Why? Because we just want to have a lot of science idea or arts ideas. We need to show them. Okay, that's material. But when we get into CLEO or STEAM or project-based, we just want the student to have some reading first before they can produce. Otherwise, they are doing copying and pasting. And they are not what we call the learning at all. So this is the trend from Taiwan. And I don't know what is the trend over there in Bali. So maybe we can talk about that sometime later. All right. And disciplinary literacy is nothing like comprehension. It's kind of a general reading skills into specialized ways of reading. Disciplinary means cross, field. So how do you read mathematics on paper? How do you read artwork on paper? Those descriptions. Okay, that is the specialized way of reading because we don't do multiple choices to test if they understand mathematical literacy or art literacy. No, once they understand, they can produce the project. Okay, so this is the way we reach science, history, or geography, or even scouting. Okay, any subject. This is what we call disciplinary literacy. And this literacy is important is because we generate our reading, general reading literacy from elementary school. And when we get into high school, we get into specialized literacy. Okay, why? Because the content is getting difficult. And when we reach the secondary, high school, junior high is different from senior high, and even different from the university, definitely. So we have different departments in the university, and every department, and you know it, every department's professor use different language to talk, to communicate. Maybe you'll feel difficult to talk to the science professors. Why? Because the literacy is different. So we need to learn how the knowledge can be communicated by intercultural or interdisciplinary or disciplinary literacy, so we can talk. And this is what we call CLEO or STEAM. Okay, so we are getting the student to know how to talk to others from different field. And for us in the university, like from the language center, we just try to help the student to read from general reading into their field English. And that's what we call the ESP, English for Special Purposes. Okay, that's for different field. And they improve their comprehension in general reading, and later they need to understand their own language in their own field. So interdisciplinary literacy is very important in the university, and we offer this kind of classes too. How about the elementary schools, junior high and senior high? Okay, we will just apply the US Common Core Standards idea. What is that? For the US, they don't have the agreed or common core 15 years ago. Every state has their own standards. That's really, really difficult because it's hardly for people to move. If you move from Washington State to Hawaii, you will learn different things. That's really difficult. So 15 years ago, the US Education Bureau just tried to have the Common Core. So they have the same thing. Like in Taiwan, we have the Common Core. Since very first year, I know about Education Bureau. So this Education Bureau just give them one idea. The student need to read nonfiction and fiction. What is nonfiction? Informational tests, science, or history, that kind of informational tests. And what is about the fictions? Fiction is about stories, about literature, it's about poems, about everything. What we call reading for a plot line. Usually we have a storyline, and that's what we call fiction. Non-fiction means you offer a lot of information. Okay, that is from elementary school. And think about that. If we help the student to read that way, fiction and non-fiction, and the student will get into high school, continue reading fiction and non-fiction. So when they get into the university, they definitely can talk to different people from different fields. Why? Because they have the interdisciplinary literacy. Okay, so the reading power is totally different from pure literature reading or pure storytelling or story reading. Okay, so this is from the US, and now in Taiwan we promote this too. Okay, let me tell you what is about 50-50. This is from the US government. Okay, 50-50. What's the 50-50? You can choose, you can balance your reading materials by this three. Like 50 will be fiction. Okay, fiction. Story, picture book, novels, poems, everything, drama. But you can arrange your 25, 25, 15, or 35, like anything, any proportions that you want for your disciplinary test, which means textbooks, okay, and other readings. Anything not textbook, anything not storybooks. Okay, you can play around about the portions, but of course it's not a rigid one. Okay, and if you can distinguish the discipline, and then you are ready to read nonfiction. If no, you will need to help the students to learn how to read different language for different purposes. Okay, so if they really cannot tell the differences, it's our job, teacher's job, to help them too. All right, and by middle school, as I told you already, they know how to read different subjects in different with disciplinary literacy, and they learn different way to read different books. Okay, and this is what we like to see, because they will increase, the literacy will help the student to increase the chances to confront the difficulties in the university. Okay, you may find your student having trouble reading different subjects. Why? Because they are not trained to read fiction and non-fiction. All right, then how can we help them? This is a very simple way for you. The first one is about the informational tests. What are they? You can choose biography, science, okay, like this three. Like biography or modalities or the reading for purposes. What are they? The first type is like this: biography, speeches, letters. Okay, those are very easy. They have a story, but they offer a lot of information about the author or the character, or love messages, love letters, right? But how about scientific explanation? Anybody can read this. E equals to mc squared. What does that mean? Hardly you can tell me the meaning of it, right? Why? Because it's a scientific explanation. All right, if the student know how to read first, and they want to know what that means, so we are helping them to read information. Why information? because they offer information, not stories. Okay, and those are not only stories, they are having a lot information or secrets. Okay, and how about the second one? It's about the modalities, about pictures, maps, and graphs and charts. We have a lot here in Taiwan in the assessment or in the tests. Okay, and so how? Why? Because they will read this way, right? They will read this and they will try to read for clues. And then the third one, it's about the bookmarks, posters, or even jokes. Why? Because if you understand this, okay, everybody please read this. If you feel it's really funny and you feel like, oh my God, that is double meaning there. You know the culture, you know the message. Okay, this is the third purpose because they have a purpose. The purpose in the message. If you can understand that, you can read media or comics on TV from the US or from Australia or from England. Okay, so these three can help you to prepare the student to understand the cross-interdisciplinary field and help them to distinguish the tests. Okay, so the teachers need to be aware about these three. How can you adopt those materials into your class? And how will you use different methodologies to teach your students? Like what I said here, it's about materials and methods. So it's two-way, teacher, student, and student, teacher, and the teacher, materials, and material teachers, and method and teachers, teachers and method, and with the students. That is always mutual ways. Okay, and let me go quick here. All right, I will just show you how I always help the student to read. I will use multiple tests for the same topic. Okay, one is fiction and one is non-fiction. For example, I would choose a very simple joke on people getting meat eaters and don't eat vegetables. Well, that is a lot here. The student here don't usually eat vegetables. So how will I help the student to understand they need to eat some greens? I will choose this book. Why do I have to eat my greens? It looks like a storybook, but actually no, it's not. It's informational. We have the discussions here. Why and how, and a lot of informations. And then the student will just go to another question and then the answers. It's always asking and answering, asking and answering, asking and answering. Why? Okay, it's not only the green, it's not go to bed early and sleep with you, all this kind of thing. So they have the discussion. And at the end of the semester, the student, I mean the university student can do that. The university student will have a lot different ideas about different disciplines. Why? Because we have a lot informational. It's about scientific reading, and also they need to have the scientific reading allowed, and eventually scientific thinking. Okay, so this is one way I will show the students. They don't like to read the textbook, but if you can prepare some material like this, and they will be happy. Why? Because they don't feel they are under pressure in reading text. All right, and I will show you another one. It's the same series. Oh, sorry. It's the same series. Oh, sorry, I didn't include it. It's the same series. If you can see, yeah. Okay, here. It's about nutrition, about website and self-care and sleep. Okay, that's the same series. So I always like to find different materials for the student to read cross disciplines. Right, so I think I can help the student to do their power up in interdisciplinary reading. And I'm not really sure if you're doing that in Bali. It's really, really hard here. And now even the university encourage us, the professors, to do the project on interdisciplinary collaboration. Okay, just like me, May work with my next door. It's about, the next door is Optican. It's about the electricity. And we do the science camp together. So that is also cross disciplines as well. Okay, right. So for today, this is a very simple idea for you to think about interdisciplinary reading. And this is really hot here. And of course, suffering in the beginning. But nowadays, like after 2 years, I'm kind of feeling comfortable getting into that. And I think my student is happy too. Okay, that's the end of my talk. I'm not really sure if I'm go over time. Thank you.
Thank you, Prof. Yan. Very good presentations and most valuable knowledge that we could get from Prof. Yan. So I think we could continue with the second speaker. After that, we will run with the discussions, questions and answer. So Professor Inanga Sudipa, the time is yours.
Well, thank you. It is all right. It is all right. Go. My voice. Yes.
Suaranya masih
Yeah.
kecil, Prof. Bisa
I can read the PowerPoint.
Yeah. It is all right. My voice. Hello. It is a matter of checking my.
It's okay. I can hear it.
Yeah. Thank you. Well, thank you, moderator. She is one of my best student I supervise when she is doing doctorate degree. Yeah. Dong Haryani, thank you. And what I'm going to share with you this morning is reading skill from linguistic perspective. What Professor Yan suggested, this is we will see from different perspective. I thanks for the good presentation from Prof. Yan. And may I start my presentation is my topic covered introduction, and then I will see linguistic or language knowledge skill, because reading is belonging to one of the language skill. And I also want to add reading philosophy. And in relation to language skill, reading belonging to language skill, I also want to show that reading is belonging to 6 language arts. And we would like to continue reading comprehension and reading skill, and how to improve reading skill, and some notes on reading activities I found during I experience in teaching reading itself. Well, if we talk about linguistic or linguistic perspective, I think this is the simplest definition of linguistic. Linguistic is scientific study of language. Although we have more complicated definition, because that is not our focus today, because we are going to study the language itself. Language, like a coin, one side carries knowledge, and then one side deal with skill. So what we are going to study here is, if we talk about knowledge, it consists of phonology, it is sound system of a language. Morphology is how to form words. Syntax, how to construct phrase, clause, sentence, text. And semantic is the meaning of sound, meaning of word, meaning of sentence constructed. And we move to the skill. I think it is very clear for us that skill, we have 4 skill. Listening that is called active and receptive skill. Speaking is active productive skill. And now this is reading is active receptive skill, and writing is active productive skill. Well, from this skill, we also would like to introduce that the philosophy of reading. If we talk about reading, we will deal with the symbol and marking becoming a piece of writing. And then we can't deny that we are going to read this one. So that is why the principle of the reading, we will start with to refine and define. Starting from the early stage of human being, we start refine and define until it got to where it is like today, like a book, for instance. The other one is the basis of learning to read is. Now, I think this is very important for us to know. Nothing more than learning to decode the message represented by such symbol. But reading does not stop here. Reading also involves understanding, comprehension, knowing what each individual word means, and how they work together to form a sentence, a paragraph, a story, and a book. It is also include interpretation. Apart from comprehension and understanding, we also include interpretation of the purpose and meaning. Such a book, knowing where the book was written to teach a moral like this book, or to teach how to cook this one. So we can interpret from the title of the book itself. So we will know what is the purpose of publishing a book itself, especially for the reading itself. Yeah, reading at lower stage. I found, because I did the research starting from the lower stage, especially in elementary school level, this skill are just developing, keep developing, and thus a crucial time for matching children's skill with text they find interesting in order to encourage a desire for reading proficiency. It is developing from the lower stage. And here I came across with this thing. Apart from reading is included in 4 language skill, I would like to introduce here that according to the International Reading Association and Council for Teachers of English, the language art includes 1 is reading, writing, listening, speaking. Yeah, that is very clearly stated. That is what we have discussed in language skill, 4 language skill. But if I think about this one, about language arts, especially in this society era or digital society era, I think viewing and visual representation is also important to be conducted. I will give you example, like the activity today, like work from home because of COVID-19. So as a student, or like you as a webinar participant, so we will use this art, language arts, consisting of listening and reading. Look at the picture. Viewing, this one is the activity during working from home. So we will view, consisting of listening the speaker, and then you read the PowerPoint like you did, like you are doing now. And how about the visual representation. I think it is very interesting to be shown here that as a lecturer now, work from home or giving a lecture from home or webinar speaker, so we will have visual representation consisting of writing. So I write the PPT, PowerPoint, and then we start to presenting by speaking it out. So this is the additional thing, I suppose, very important to be understood, dealing not only reading, putting in the language skill itself. Well, now I would like also to add to the different thing between reading comprehension and reading skill. Okay? I will read this one. What is reading comprehension? Reading comprehension is simply the ability to understand. Remember, the ability to understand what you read. Strong reading comprehension typically encompasses a variety of literacy skill needed to interpret and identify. Remember, interpret and identify meaning within a text. That is very important. Several elements like fluency, the ability to decode unfamiliar vocabulary, and using context clues from the reading to identify key features of the text, they are all be component of effective reading comprehension. So this is the element to be taken into account. Then reading comprehension, some are essential skills needed for reading comprehension include decoding, fluency, vocabulary, inference, and retention. I will elaborate one by one. Decoding is a skill that relies on your ability to sound. I repeat, ability to sound out what you have heard but never seen written out. It relies on phonemic awareness, which is the ability to hear individual sounds in words and connect sound to letters. So try to connect sound, what you are sounding or you decoding related to letter. Making the connection between a letter or group of letters, the sound they make, and is a crucial step to sounding out or decoding words. Decoding in bahasa Indonesia membaca keras or menyuarakan. Well, fluency refers to a mix different factors. First, it focuses on your ability to read clearly with flow. Remember, read clearly with flow. Fluency also focuses on your ability to decode new vocabulary quickly while reading. Fluency is what it sounds like to read, which can directly impact your ability to comprehend what you read. For example, I think that is a good example. As a child becomes more fluent in their reading, they will be able to quickly find meaning and an understanding of what they read, which contributes to understand the text. Fluency is also important. Next, vocabulary. The ability to decode or determine the meanings of new words. I give you this very important thing. New word can also influence your reading comprehension. When you can quickly interpret new meaning and identify relationship between new vocabulary and familiar term, you can increase your ability to make assumption, form ideas, and general better understand the text you read. I will continue. Inference. This is a method of connecting information from text to our own ideas and opinion that help us identifying the meaning of we read. For instance, if we talk about plastic, so how can we connect the idea with the vocabulary itself? So I think that is good in reading to make inferences can help increase retention. What is retention? Retention, reading comprehension is typically all about retaining. In Bahasa Indonesia, we call menyimpan what we read. Comprehension is based on the retention of information by practicing your summarizing skill and remembering what you have read. You can further strengthen your reading comprehension. Well, this is reading comprehension, and now I'd like to compare with reading skill. So I think it is good for us to know reading skill in different perspective. Now, the question is, what is reading skill? Reading skill are abilities that pertain in bahasa Indonesia berkaitan to a person capacity to read, comprehend, interpret, and decode written language and text. Yeah, this is comprehend, interpret, decode. It is a bit overlap with reading comprehension. Exceptional reading skill can be highly beneficial to assimilating and responding to written communication like email messages, letters, and other written messages. This is very beneficial in this case. Using reading skill in the workplace can also be important for ensuring effective written communication, which can result in less miscommunication or misunderstanding of expectation. So we try to understand, so we avoid from miscommunication and misunderstanding. Now, I will continue. Reading skill can also encompass. In Bahasa Indonesia, we can mencakup several key aspects that work together to develop overall literacy skill, including comprehension, fluency, vocabulary, and strategies that help readers interpret and find meaning in the text. Well, how to improve reading skill now? I would like to offer 7 strategy. One of them is set aside time to read each day. Set reading goal. Preview the text you read. Determine the purposes. Apply key reading strategies. Take notes while you read. Apply what you read by summarizing. I would like to elaborate the 7 way or strategies how to improve reading skill. Set aside time to read each day. The key word is practice and practice. One of the most effective ways to build your skill is to practice. Developing your reading skill will ultimately take practice, and you can set aside 10 to 15 minutes. This is approximately time. It depends individually. Each day to read. You can read news, article, fiction, magazine, issues, or any kind of text as long as you are taking the time to practice your reading skill. It depends individually. Set reading goal. That is very important to know what is the purpose of your reading. So I think that is widely known that you have some goal for reading something. I will give you example. You might set a goal to learn different vocabulary related to a central topic like business management. I think I refer to Prof. Ian presentation that cross disciplinary text to read by the new one. Then you can find meaning to unfamiliar word. Yeah, it is very clear. Sometimes we will find or come across with unfamiliar word that help build your vocabulary as you read. So you will add your understanding about new vocabulary. Preview the text you read. I think that is also important. In preview, you will have before, yeah, something to do before you begin reading. Yeah, I will must be quick this one. Determine the purpose. I repeat the purpose that, sorry. Practice determining the purpose. Think about why various texts were written and what meaning or themes can be understood from a text. Additionally, you might identify the purpose that you are reading for, such as to find information, follow instruction in a manual, or to enjoy story. In the last note of my presentation, I try to summarize because what is the purpose of reading is obtaining information, enjoy story, and one more thing that is I found during my experience doing some reading text. This is only two, jadi finding information, follow instruction, or enjoy for leisure. I will come to the note in the last my presentation. Then next, apply key reading strategies. As you read different texts, you can apply several key. Like if you read economic text, mathematic text, you can apply several key strategies to help you increase your comprehension. For instance, when previewing a text, you might identify the text structure as informational, persuasive, or instruction. It depends on the kind of the writing itself. You might also determine key element of different texts like the central theme, problems and solution, or comparative ideas presented in what you read. Using strategies like identifying text feature, determining the purpose of taking note can all work to help you improve your reading skill. Take notes. I think some student or some people will do this strategy to improve. I think this is very important because if we read a lot of things, sometimes we forget. In order to avoid from that bad situation, so this one is write down new vocabulary while reading a science journal, for instance, and then creating visual representation like chart, table, and so on. And then the last is inferences from your reading. So note taking can be highly beneficial for comprehension exercise like summarizing too. This one, by summarizing, we will have short summary to help you retain and comprehend what you read. As you develop your reading skill, your communication and overall ability to interact with others and perform in your career can develop as well. Well, this is my note. In the past, when I read a lot of books, the reading strategies, very general thing, skimming, scanning, and then intensive reading, extensive reading. Skimming is try to find the gist of the text. Scanning is try to locate certain information. Intensive reading, usually we will do when you are going to have examination. Extensive reading, usually we do, when we would like to write thesis, article, and so on. So we must read a lot of things from different sources. And the thing I would like to inform you, reading purposes is to obtain information. Yes, okay, we have discussed this. And leisure, relaxing time. And then I found that some society member will have difficulty to sleep. And the therapy is by reading. Look at the picture. It is already 2:30 in the early morning. He can't get sleep. He can't sleep. Even they have drink a lot of water or whatever, but still thinking and difficult to sleep. So I think the better way is by reading something and then you will fall asleep. I think that is all my presentation. Thank you very much. I hope all of you start happy reading and enjoy reading because this is very beneficial. If you read a lot, you will write a lot. Like if you drink a lot of water, you can pass urine a lot as well. That is the what we call the analogy. Thank you very much, and I hope it will be beneficial for all of you. And I'm looking forward to have some comment, suggestion from the participant. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Prof. You have finished before time, so you're now around 11 past 12 minutes. So there will be question and answer sessions. So in this part, the participants, I opened around 4 questions. For those who would like to give comments, suggestions, or maybe ask questions related to the materials that they have presented. Jadi silahkan bertanya jika ada yang ingin ditanyakan tentang materi dari sudut pandang budaya maupun dari sudut pandang linguistik. Kepada penanya boleh bertanya melalui chat room yang tersedia di sebelah kanan, ataupun bisa dilakukan dengan cara menekan raise hands yang ada pada Webex, ataupun bisa mengirimkan melalui, bagi yang menonton melalui YouTube, nanti silakan ditulis apa yang ingin disampaikan atau bertanya langsung. If you want to ask directly to the speakers, we are welcome.
Okay, Gedung, may I give some comments?
Oh yes,
Hello.
Prof.
Okay.
Prof. Suci, yes, you may.
Okay. Thanks a lot for the chance given to me, Ms. Moderator. My comment will be directed to Professor Sudipa. This is really great presentations, almost cover everything. But I've got an idea in my mind that in your presentation is not covered yet about reading speech. You mentioned reading comprehension because it is really important when we want to start from the beginning teaching the students how to improve their reading skill. So we must make balance at least the reading speed and also the reading comprehensions. As in the scale of reading comprehensions, what the students should read is a meaningful unit. They are not allowed to read the word individually. They must read the meaningful units in level of praise or level of clause. This strategy will affect the reading comprehension because the student mostly won't understand if they read the word individually, because we also need to teach the students, like what you mentioned, internship reading, extensive reading. They should also know, because most of our students are Indonesians, so they should think when they read, think in English. So we have a book, Reading and Thinking in English. That's my comments. What do you think about that, Professor Sudipa? Thank you.
Hello. Can I
Yes,
directly?
yes, please.
Well, yeah. Okay, I would like to appreciate Ibu Prof. Suciati for your comment. I think we agree that reading speed must be included. I didn't mention clearly in detail. I suppose because this is a very general lecture, I think it has included in decoding and also in fluency. I didn't inform in more detail, but if we can find more detailed information, how to read meaningful unit of level phrases, clauses, in order to have stand for what they have read. Because it is a misleading if we, let's say, if we stop in different or in incorrect phrase or word, so the meaning or the comprehension will be different, having different meaning. I believe that one. So I think that is good idea for Prof. Suci for adding some more information, because I suppose that this strategy is included in decoding and fluency. Thank you very much. I will.
Thank you, Prof. Thank you. I have to leave because I have to teach at 11:20. Okay.
Yeah.
Goodbye, everybody. Thank
Thank you
you.
very much for
Thank
your
you
good
very much,
suggestion.
Prof.
Well, thank you. All
Thank
the best.
you. Bye-bye. Yes.
Yes, thank you, Prof. Suci, and it has been answered by Professor Sudipa for the comments. I would like to ask, is there another questions from the participants? Maybe directed to Prof. Yen. They have not got any questions yet. You could directly ask to her by opening your microphone, please. And mention your name and your affiliations. From students, maybe from students, I have seen there are numbers of students here, such as Legita, Uzia, Ifa. Would you like to ask questions to our speaker from Taiwan or to Prof. Sudipa? Okay, we are still waiting because we still have times before 12.
Moderator, I think let them ask in Bahasa Indonesia, I think.
Ya, kalau bisa dalam bahasa Indonesia juga ditanyakan, akan dijawab dengan ada yang bertanya dengan bahasa Indonesia, mungkin tidak confident dengan bahasa Inggrisnya, tidak percaya diri, kurang percaya diri, bukan tidak percaya diri, kurang percaya diri, silahkan menggunakan bahasa Indonesia, tidak apa, kami akan tetap menerima pertanyaan dari saudara. Adik-adik juga boleh bertanya dengan bahasa Indonesia maupun bahasa Inggris. Peserta yang lainnya mungkin ada yang ingin bertanya. No questions?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're still waiting. From the YouTube, is there any questions? I see there are no questions from YouTube. Yeah, maybe I could replace them, Prof. Yen. I've listened to your presentations and it gave me knowledge about the culture perspective that you have told us. I want to know, so there are methods that you are using in Taiwan as the methods to teach the students, especially for the specific text, or we could say it's English for specific purposes. So in that situations, the teacher who teach the reading skills, is that they have to be tested before they are going to teach the classes in what kinds of subject that they are going to have for the readings to give to the students. So I have seen there are percentage that you have given to us. Is it have to be equal percentage, or you have 50% of the maybe general text, and the rest of them are also 50%, or you could have only 30% of the disciplinary text? Maybe that is my questions to know further.
Okay, thank you. Let's do the mathematics first. There's no exact number between these two, fiction and non-fiction. Up to you. So, well, if you go to the States, if you go into the classroom, elementary school classroom, you'll find a corner. And they've got the classroom books, classroom library. So you have fiction, a pile of fiction and a pile of non-fiction. And I found it in Hong Kong too. I went to different classrooms and I just found they have the library in class. They definitely will have fiction and non-fiction. So the students just go directly. They don't care what to read. They just read whatever they want. So that is kind of another encouragement or another strategy for the student to read fiction and non-fiction. But how do you link fiction and non-fiction? I always use graphic organizer. Okay, you just asked about the strategy. I always use graphic organizers, and I'm sure you seen this kind of graphic. Let me get it into a complete form. This is the graphic I always use. Once, doesn't matter if the student is reading fiction or non-fiction. I will ask them to do the read aloud. And then later, ask them to write what they've read. So if, let's say, Cinderella, everybody knows the test. What is the cause of Cinderella to be locked in the room? And what is the effect? So they are forced to use their brain to think, oh, I need to think about cause and effect and not the storyline. Mostly the students read for a storyline. They look for correct answers. But how if you force them to think differently? Okay, I will stick on Cinderella. All right, so cause and effect. The student need to write. And the next one is concept definition map. Okay, here I will ask the student to write the word from Cinderella. Okay, is Cinderella a term? Now, like a poor girl getting into a good life, that is the concept, that's the image. But Cinderella itself is a name. But if you take the culture, the story culture or whatever culture we set, and it's an idea, a poor girl into a rich family, eventually a royal family, eventually. Okay, so what is it? It's about a dream come true or good deeds to be seen. Okay, that's the way I will ask the student to tell me what Cinderella might mean eventually. Okay, and what are some examples? Cinderella, or maybe in your daily life. Or if you're old enough, you know the movie Pretty Women. But I'm sure that the students here don't know that movie. Like Pretty Woman's the same thing. Poor girl from the red light get into a rich family. Well, because she was lucky to meet a man. Okay, so this is the way I ask the student to read and later to think. Those are the strategy. Okay, and Cinderella again, text clue, what I already know and my conclusion. They need to find different categories to present their reading comprehension. Okay, so this is the way I will say, well, force them to read interdisciplinary and present their interdisciplinary knowledge too. So identify author's purpose about Cinderella. The author told us a lot of things. Then what did the author tell us? So I will ask the student to write. And of course, story, entertainment story. and what the author persuades us to do eventually. So this can be a story into a nonfiction analysis. That is the link. So I will always use graphic organizers in my classroom. Doesn't matter if I'm teaching literature or I'm teaching methodology or teach cross-reading. This is a must. I will always Google a lot to fit into the lessons I'm teaching at that moment. Okay, so this is the way I do reading strategy, from fiction to nonfiction reading, from fiction reading analysis into nonfiction reading analysis. Even one text, Cinderella, can be nonfiction. That's the input, and the output will be nonfiction analysis this way. Okay? Did I answer your question?
Thank you. Thank you very much, Prof. Yan. Yes.
We still have time.
Yeah, we still have time. Maybe from mungkin bisa dari Kepala UPT Bahasa yang sempat hadir hari ini, ingin menanyakan sesuatu kepada salah satu pembicara. Kalau misalnya menggunakan bahasa Indonesia, mungkin bisa saya bantu untuk menerjemahkannya di dalam bahasa Inggris. Mungkin Ibu Dr. Nur Rahmaywati atau dari Kepala UPT P3B, Ibu Teni Murtiningsih. Ibu Dr. Hilda mungkin bisa langsung bertanya kepada dua pembicara kami hari ini. Adik-adik mahasiswa juga silakan. Ada yang ingin ditanyakan?
Kalau tidak ada, boleh saya menambahkan. Halo.
Silakan, Prof.
Well, I'm sorry, Prof. Yan. I would like to speak in Bahasa Indonesia. I think what I presented is very high English, I think. It's a bit difficult to understand. Baik, para peserta terkait dengan reading skill, ya saya ingin menambahkan bahwa berbicara secara bahasa atau linguistik, saya sudah memulai dengan dua sisi seperti dua sisi mata uang, ya, ada knowledge of language, pengetahuan bahasa itu ada fonologi tentang bunyi, setiap bahasa, ada bahasa Indonesia, bahasa Bali, bahasa Inggris, itu akan ada fonologi, ada morfologi, ada sintak atau sintaksis, ada semantik. Di bagian sisi lain dari koin itu ada skill atau keterampilan, yaitu ada listening, disebut menyimak, speaking, berbicara, reading, ya. Kemudian ada writing. Saya ingin memperkenalkan selain ada 4 language skill, juga ada kita memiliki 6 language arts. Ya, saya sudah menulis. I have written down this article about 6 language art related to work from home. Ya, because it is closely related to this digital era. Saya sudah menulis, kalau Ibu Bapak ingin melihat tulisan saya, ada di Udayana Networking. Itu saya ingin jelaskan bahwa selain reading, writing, listening, speaking itu adalah bagian dari keterampilan berbahasa, juga termasuk language art, seni bahasa, saya sebut seni bahasa. Yang nomor 5, viewing, seperti ilustrasi saya, itu adalah sepertinya gabungan, ya gabungan antara listening ya dengan reading. Ya, andaikan contoh, for example, seperti saya contohkan, kegiatan webinar hari ini, ya posisi saudara sebagai peserta adalah viewer. Kegiatannya adalah viewing. Apa yang dilakukan? What kind of language arts must be applied in this activity? You have to do two things. Ada dua hal yang saudara kerjakan, ya, yaitu ya mendengarkan dari pembicara what I have said or I have presented. You listen, you apply listening, and then if I show you the PowerPoint or share content, ibu bapak atau saudara peserta itu akan membaca. So this two thing is combined into language art viewing, call viewing. Ini yang menurut saya perlu ada pemutahiran. You may update your knowledge or your what we call insight dealing with language skill and language art. Kemudian yang kedua, ya saya mencoba melihat ada apa namanya disebut visual representation. Nomor 6 dari language art itu ada visual representation. Seperti yang saya lakukan, yang Ibu Prof. Yen juga lakukan, ya, you prepare by writing PowerPoint, and then I share, and then I try to present in the form of speaking. So this is the visual representation. Language art consists of two things, terdiri dari dua hal, yaitu menulis dan berbicara. Ya, I hope this one can be widen your insight, dealing not only reading skill, but also for the purpose of understanding language in the whole, ya, secara keseluruhan. Di bagian akhir saya mencoba membuat note, itu sebenarnya adalah pengamatan saya selama mengajar bahasa. My experience during I teach language. Because I'm not only teaching English, because in Udayana we have foreign student. We have foreign student, and I also teach Bahasa Indonesia for foreign student. There are a lot. Before the pandemic, we have a lot of program until now, but now it is run by a virtual activity. Dulu banyak sekali program-program mahasiswa asing yang saya tahu itu adalah BIPA, Bahasa Indonesia untuk Penutur Asing, ada BIPAS, itu Bali International Program on Asian Studies. Saya juga mengajar di IBSN, ya, International Business Nation Network, ya, di Fakultas Ekonomi. So, saya menggunakan strategi membaca, jadi reading text. Okay, what is the purpose of reading? Apa tujuan membaca? Seperti saya katakan, ada getting information, pasti. Kalau membaca koran atau membaca buku, tujuannya adalah mencari pengetahuan. Yang kedua, ya, sebenarnya tujuannya adalah untuk santai. Jadi biasanya setelah makan siang di Indonesia, because we have tropical season, after having lunch, we get asleep. So before we get sleep, so we will have a relaxing time, ya, by reading unintensely the newspaper, ya, without taking information. And then once I have experience, pernah saya mengajar para dokter di Universitas Udayana tentang speed reading, ya, speed reading judulnya, ada penataran. Nah, di situ saya dapat informasi bahwa karena ini dokter pesertanya, di situ akan saya dapatkan bahwa Pak, ada tambahan tujuan membaca itu untuk terapi seperti gambar yang saya cantumkan tadi. Kalau tidak bisa tidur, orang sering membaca koran. Tapi sekarang sudah beralih, sebelum membaca biasanya membuka WA atau reading Facebook ya, and so on. Jadi begitu capek langsung tertidur. Itu beberapa tambahan mengisi waktu sambil menunggu ada pertanyaan. Itu sebagai, mungkin tadi saya menyampaikan dengan bahasa Inggris, sehingga sekarang saya mencoba memancing supaya di antara peserta yang 159 ini luar biasa ini, ada kira-kira misalnya pancingan untuk bertanya kembali. Silakan saya kembalikan pada moderator. Ya, please invite them to comment ya. Tidak harus bertanya, berkomentar
Ya.
silakan.
Terima kasih Bapak Prof. Sudipe. Jadi mungkin Bapak Agung Arsana dari Humas atau Bapak Agus Sindu dari Uniki ada yang ingin disampaikan, Bapak komentar boleh Bapak, atau saran selain pertanyaan. Silakan disampaikan. Bapak Agung Arsana dari Humas. Lalu Bapak Agus Sindu. Silakan. Bapak Agung Arsana.
Saya Agung Arsana.
Iya, bisa Bapak. Silakan Bapak.
So after reading Mr. Prof. Sudipe presentation in a lower level, maybe I would like to ask how to develop, how to give an interesting method. Is there any interesting method to teach reading in elementary school, for elementary school students? Thank you.
Langsung jawab. Well, we have stages. Kita punya tahapan terkait dengan kemampuan. Seberapa besar kalau anak SD diberikan porsi membaca. Misalnya tidak boleh kalimat itu panjang-panjang. Tidak boleh kata-kata itu terlalu tinggi maknanya. Lihatlah lingkungan. Jadi apa yang ada di lingkungan mereka. Itu sebagai bahan. Memang saya akui, saya juga melihat kenyataan bahwa bacaan-bacaan anak SD yang saya lihat itu perlu dilihat kembali. Karena kalimatnya panjang-panjang, jadi susah. Reading comprehension-nya itu susah. Kemudian arti vocabnya, kata-katanya itu jauh dari dunia anak-anak. Seharusnya yang terkait dengan lingkungan, misalnya di dalam sekolah, itu ada meja, ada papan, ada penggosok, itulah yang dipakai. Jangan out of the context. Karena inilah ketidakberhasilan kita membimbing atau mengharapkan ada gemar membaca. Karena teks itu atau bacaan-bacaan itu kurang kontekstual. Saya tidak menampik bahwa itu memang faktanya seperti itu. Sehingga kalau Pak Gong punya anak misalnya masuk SD katakanlah,
Ya, benar.
bacanya teksnya, topiknya juga di luar jangkauan anak-anak. Walaupun ada beberapa yang cocok. Kalimatnya panjang-panjang, kata-katanya tidak menyentuh pemahaman orang seumur sekian. Ya kebetulan saya dosen psikolinguistik, saya tahu bagaimana hubungan bahasa dengan kejiwaan anak, saya tahu. Karena ada stage-stage-nya, itu tahap-tahapannya. Kalau makanya ada di bahasa Inggris ada pre-elementary, ada elementary, ada intermediate, ada advanced. Itu sebetulnya sudah bagus. Sehingga pilihan kata, pilihan struktur kalimat itu diselaraskan dengan kemampuan daya paham orang itu pada umumnya. Walaupun ada satu dua yang hebat, itu kan tidak menjamin bahwa akan seperti itu.
Thank you, sir. Terima kasih, Pak. Itu artinya apakah memungkinkan teks-teks atau judul teks itu dibuat lebih kekinian ya? Tidak seperti apa ya, maaf, yang agak apa yang tidak dikenal oleh anak-anak SD itu sendiri. Misalnya anak SD itu misalnya pengagum tokoh tertentu yang terkenal gitu. Mungkin bisa diarahkan ke sana. Apakah demikian, Pak?
Ya, kalau boleh saya usul seperti itu. Contoh, kalau anak-anak SD nanti diberikan topik tentang sawah, petani, menggaru,
Agak
itu
berat.
udah berat karena orang di kota. Ya, pernah saya juga waktu belajar di Australia, maaf ini, saya S2 di Monash, itu pernah saya menjadi narasumber di situ, bahwa di situ saya melihat kontekstual. Kalau anak-anak di kota bahannya berbeda dengan ada urban dan ada apa namanya rural, ya ada di situ. Ya, mereka sudah menyiapkan hal itu. Sehingga bayangkan kalau anak Pak tinggal di kota disuruh mencari katakanlah kosakata tentang alat-alat pertanian agak susah, Pak. Pastilah harus update dengan HP apa kuota kan yang begitu. Kurang lebih seperti itu.
Jadi artinya kalau di Bali, Pak ya, dari sekian kabupaten itu ada kemungkinan berarti materi reading itu sedikit berbeda, Pak nggih. Diupdate lah oleh guru setiap mungkin beberapa tahun sekali, karena yang saya pantau materi itu kebanyakan dari LKS gitu.
Ya,
Jadi pukul
ya,
rata sama gitu.
pukul rata.
Agak
Ya.
berbeda gitu. Baik, Prof, terima kasih. I was your student a few years ago, sir. Bapak pernah mengajar saya dulu. Oke.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, we met you again. Well, Prof. Ian, that is a good question from my student years ago. Yeah, is there any what we call classification in choosing the reading material for elementary level, for pre-elementary level? Because at the moment, sometimes the reading text in Bahasa Indonesia for elementary school is too long, and the vocabulary, the word is too high to be understood. That is the question from Agung Arsana. Yeah, and then my response is,
well, so in that case, almost Taiwanese teachers.
Yeah, if you
Can
have
you hear me?
if you have comment, please, Prof. Ian, we still have time.
Yeah.
Dealing with reading material for elementary or for student and so on. Please, time is yours. Prof. Ian.
In Taiwan, the materials here really lengthy. We usually have short conversations, but for junior highs, they're very, very lengthy. But we always want to use picture book. So let me find this one. Can you read my slides?
It is still loading. It is still loading. Yeah, that is good. Yeah.
Okay.
Very good.
All right, so you get my PowerPoint now?
It's okay. That is okay. Yeah, start explaining.
Okay, so this is, we are still focusing on Cinderella, and this is a very good series. This is what I call the vocabulary storybook. You will know why, okay? This is the story. Girl and shores and Ming stepsisters, then fairy godmother, magic wand, then magic. So there's not a lot of words. We read through concepts. That's why I said we read pictures. We know the title of Cinderella. We roughly know the content. And we learn vocabulary. So you don't need to read Cinderella. poor girl, which is to know the girl, because of the main mother. Then one day, very good mother want to help her become a. Just need to know this, and then they have the reading picture edge that brings her to a party. On midnight, she needs run on, and everything get back to the original forms. And she lost her shoes, and then learned the shoes, glass slipper. So this is I want, and a lot of teachers would like to use picture book just because they've got simplified words and they can help reduce the anxiety of reading. Reading is not to read the textbook. It is to read something outside school we want to promote. If you promote reading, I mean the motivation, and they are reading for comprehension only. So you can use this option. Okay, now, what did you see? I see a girl with, maybe they don't know how to say mop, but they can say the girl is cleaning the floor. The girl with blonde hair. Or they will say there are two windows here. So reading from nothing. But are they nothing? Of course, no. They read from their prior knowledge. They know this is called a chair. This is a door. Maybe they don't know they are called vases or bottles. Well, you can say 1, 2, 3, and then the teacher can say pen, tell them to know the word bottles. That kind of prior knowledge connecting new knowledge. Maybe they don't know the word shorts, but you can say she what. If you work in the house, you say you do the chores. So this is what I really like, picture book in classroom for reading. You don't need to bring the into your class. Just bring your class in corner. Sometimes read this book and you just read the title and tell me what it might about. Just read the title, just read the cover. The cover can tell you something, and you can test how good the student maintaining their prior knowledge. Okay, this is for elementary school. For elementary school students, they are only learning. Don't push them to produce anything. Acquisition in elementary school and meaningful reading in high school. I mean, junior high school. And production maybe from senior high school. So this is what we say is an AMT model: acquisition, meaningful learning, and the transfer. Transfer means going to transfer your knowledge into practice. You know how to practice, to use your knowledge. AMT, it's not ATM getting the money. It's AMT, acquisition, meaningful learning, and transfer, or you can say task. So you just need to know who are you teaching and what kind of material you can offer to help them. It's not the age for them to do a lot meaningful learning. They are getting knowledge. Maybe up until they are in the 5th or 6th graders, they can have some meaningful learning because they know how to get the knowledge into their internal knowledge or prior knowledge. But before that, just give them a lot. they're like a sponge. You know that symbol. They're like a sponge. Give whatever you can for them. So variety is the key. Textbook is only for 50%, and you just cover whatever you have to teach, and then try to find another 50 for them to get into different world. But if you cannot, then 70 for your textbook and 30 for outside reading, or 95 textbook, 5% outside reading. It's all up to you. All up to you. You just need to cover whatever you have to teach in school first. You get into extra materials. Okay, so this is roughly for elementary school, and this is the way I'm just telling you the way the Taiwanese elementary school teacher are doing here mostly. Not all of them, mostly. At least half, more than half will do that. Okay. I hope it helps.
Well, that is very interesting. Yeah, especially the simplified words. Yeah, I think that is good idea. And then the next one is in the children, especially the early age. You said that acquisition meaningful learning. I think that is can be adapted to be applied in certain stages of learning processes, I suppose. Thank you, Prof. Yen, for your substantial additional remark. Ya. Masih ada waktu, silakan. We still have time.
Okay, I think it's enough. So we have another 5 minutes to conclude the part, and there will be an ending certificate submissions that we will have. So thank you for both speakers, Prof. Yen, and materials today, especially for the cultural perspectives and linguistic perspectives that we have learned from their presentations. How is the materials and methods that are used in Taiwan, and also the presentations from Prof. Sudipa, which showing us the elements of reading, such as the decoding, fluency, vocabulary, and inferences or retentions and conclusions that should be done during the teaching and learning for the reading skills. Thank you for your valuable knowledge, both speakers. Now we go to Pandu to have his times. You continue, Pandu. Thank you. Thank you for all participants also for their attentions. Good morning.
Thank you, Ibu Dr. Aryani, and also for our two incredible speakers. And now, ladies and gentlemen, as a form of appreciation, we would like to present certificates to our honorable presenters and moderator that will be presented symbolically here via our WebEx meeting. For the first opportunity, to Professor Ai Chun Yen from Donghua University. Thank you for making your time today and sharing your knowledge for us.
Thank you. Thank you.
Next, thank you for Prof. Inengah Sudipa. Thank you for making your time today and giving us a very insightful material.
Yeah, I hope it is beneficial.
That is indeed, sir.
Thank you.
And then last, to our amazing moderator, Ibu Dr. Aryani. Thank you for guiding the discussion today.
Thank you, Pandu. Thank you for all of us.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, by that being done, we are now reaching the end of our forum today. On behalf of the organizing committee, we would like to say thank you to our distinguished VIPs and all of the participants for joining us today. We are certainly grateful that the event went smoothly today, and I hope the results of today's forum will be very useful for all of us in the future. We would also like to apologize for any inconveniences during our program, and we hope to see you again in the next opportunity. Ladies and gentlemen, I will now close this event by saying our traditional parting praise, Paramasanti. Om Santi, Santi, Santi. Om.
Om Santi.
Thank you
Santi.
and see you later.
You are very welcome.
Thank you very much, Prof. Yen. Thank you very much, Prof. Sudipa. Thank you also to Ibu Dr. Gong Aryani.
Thank you. Thank you, Ibu
Thank
Isnu.
you
Thank
for
you,
all
Prof. Yen.
attendees and all participants.
Great
Thank you very much.
presentation, Prof. Yen. Great presentation, Prof. Yen.
Okay, thank you all.
Thank you.